What is going on, everybody? It is me, your boy Flash Jones, back again with another video. And in this one, we're taking a real quick look and doing a real quick unboxing of the Atlas. That's right, Atlas double track signal bridge. And we're going to take a look at these little signal heads that you can also grab from them as well. Reason why I'm doing this, actually, you know what? We'll hold on to that. All that being said, let's jump right on into this video. All right, so as I said, we are doing a little unboxing here real quick on this Atlas signal system, primarily for me because when I was researching, because I don't usually buy things without doing a little bit of research on them, it's not necessarily the development of them, but seeing if there's any content out there, see if there's any good photos of it, any good reviews of it, or anything like that. I would typically try to do something like that prior to buying something, unless it's super cheap and I don't really care if, you know, the money's lost on it, if it's a terrible product. But something as far as signals where, I mean, their starting price is practically $100. Now you can get them at lower prices from your hobby shops and other places like that, but starting price MSRP on this is almost $100. I think it's like 95 to be exact, or 92. I ended up getting this one for 62, but again, MSRP is practically 100. When I got the BLMA ones, I want to say they were up in that area as well. I can't remember because I did get these some years back, but that is pretty much the price on these double track modern cantilever style 2-track signal bridges. And again, there is no content out there really on these signals at all, especially considering these have the pins and the wires on them that are color coded. I have yet to see these, because as you see, it does have that same style of the braided, if you will, cable, but it then breaks out into the tricolor red, yellow, and green wire coming out of those, you know, that blended wire that looks practically the same color. You have 3 wires of the same color, and the red one in there, don't quote me on this, but the red one in there is typically your common, and these are set up for common anode, but nevertheless common is the red wire. And the other 3, which makes sense, the other 3 are the same color, and in which they're like a brown, copper, tan, if you will. And those are all the same. Those 3 are the same color. So you have 4 wires total for each head, and the red wire is actually the common. So we're not obviously going to take a look at the BLMA because we've seen that one. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at the Atlas. Now, before I get into that, I will want to point this out. Unless I'm mistaken on this, you do not get a drill template for your signal bridge with Atlas. This is the BLMA one. This is a cantilever signal that I had on one of my previous layouts, and obviously I used that template to mount my signal. Now again, I haven't opened this yet, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that there's not, because I have yet to see anybody or anything in the description say anything about it. So try to get this thing out of here. Okay, yeah, so far nothing here on this box. Okay, yeah, nothing there. Got the signal bridge itself. Looks like something even is broken off of there. I just noticed that that piece there is supposed to be right up top here. So that's interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. Okay. Pressing on. Try to dig this thing out here from the bottom. Well, actually, well, y'all dig it out. See if they got anything on the back there. Man, this plastic is very, very tight. Okay, yeah, and nothing here on this box either as far as your template goes. So I have to take a look at that. Obviously there's nothing else here in the box, so, but I will say one thing is the box is way smaller. This box is way smaller than the BLMA one. It's probably about a quarter of the height and width less than that BLMA one. Not like that's really all that important, as long as the model stays protected, which in this case, it's not completely protected. Jeez. All right. Oh, I guess there's some tape. Can't see this tape at all. There's some tape here on the corners, it looks like, and there's another little piece right here. Get this tape peeled up. That way we can actually freaking open this thing. See me over here struggling. There we go. Tape on all four corners. Be nice if they, said, hey, there's tape on this thing, so you guys don't try to lose your mind trying to open these. Alright. And got the last one. Okay. And then out comes that piece there. Alright. And here we are. Again, this is the first time that I've seen this signal out of the box. And this is indeed one of the pieces that hangs out right about here. So I'll get a hold of Atlas, I guess, or someone to try to see what we can do about that. I don't anticipate trying to send it back for something as simple as that, as assuming everything else works with this. So taking a quick look at it, obviously you have your signals, your double-headed signals here up top, which is the same as the BLMAs. You do have nice bracing and overall construction that looks really, really nice. You do have your cables that are painted silver. You may or may not be able to see them there, but they're painted silver. Where's my little pointer at? Can't find my little pointer right now, but we'll use this in the meantime. So right about here, you can kind of see, it'll focus for me. You can kind of make out, these silver wires. Those are your wires coming from your signal heads, and they run all the way to kind of where my thumb is at, over in this area, and they run back inside the signal, the plastic of the signal. The frame of it, I guess, would be probably the better word. And they run back inside, and they come out of the bottom of the pegs, if you will, your mounting pegs. Okay. So again, mainly, like I said, I'm doing this because there's no content out here on YouTube or even just on the general web about what these signals look like out of the pack. And I've seen a lot of pictures just like you find on Atlas's website about what the signals look like, inside the packaging like this, but no actual video on, or even any photographs on what these wires and whatnot look like down here on the ends. And it's kind of unfortunate because it kind of puts you in a situation where you have to buy them in order to really get a really in-depth, up-close look at them, which I don't really find to be fair, because for me, I'm one of those kinds of guys where I need to see it, or at least I want to see it before I buy it. It gives me a little bit more confidence in what I'm acquiring. And when they make you do it this way, it really kind of, at least to me, it kind of feels like they kind of put you in a little bit of a bind. So getting these all unraveled here, you can see, trying to obviously be very careful, because these wires are like somewhere in the 30 gauge of wire, and that's very, very tiny. And so let's see here if I can get these all untangled from each other. Oh yeah, it's kind of a nightmare. Like, I get why they wrapped it the way they did, but man, it makes it hard to detangle. Okay, that makes it a little better now. Give me a sec here, guys. I'll come right back. All right, guys. So it took me a few minutes here, but I finally got all these wires kind of detangled from each other, and they're all separated out into their own and individual spool, if you will. Obviously, you have your all your different colors here for your signal aspects, your red, your yellow, and your green. And these don't come with manuals, guys, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that black is your common. I'm gonna go out on that limb, considering you got a red, a green, and a yellow, which should obviously coordinate with what the signals are, the signal aspects are, right? So in conversation with people over at Atlas, which I get it, he said how he broke it down, but they have no way of telling us, the consumer, the modeler, which signal, which set of wires correlates to which signal. So this wire that's coming out of this front, I'm sorry, the back on this left side, the back peg here, which I get it's a little blurry for some reason. There we go. The back peg that's down here, so not this one, but the one right behind it on here, this left pole, that's where this wire is coming out of, down there at the bottom, right? They have no way of saying which signal this one correlates to, okay? I mean, I guess through trial and error, you can find out maybe this left pole are the two left signals, and maybe the right pole here are the two right signals. It could even be, you know, the front two poles are the top two signals, and the back two poles are the bottom two signals. There's no way to know or tell except through by trial and error, and that's just unfortunate because that takes time. That takes time and effort, and unless you're using their Atlas's proprietary signal signal circuitry and signal boards, then you have to do what I have to do, which is cut these pins off, these little pin wires, brackets or jackets, if you will. I have to cut these off, strip these wires, and then insert them into my signal LCC board that I'm using, because I'm using LCC to drive the layout, and so to control signaling, turnouts, and block detection. So in order to do all that, I have to cut these off. Now they may offer, I think they have a DIY set of cable, if you will, that attaches to this. Then it gives you the individual wires, but you're talking spending another $5-6 or whatever have you, just for the sole purpose of doing that with every single set of wires, and that's not economical. That's in my mind, that's doing too much for no reason at all. You're not benefiting anything from doing that. So my guess is I may try it out with, maybe start off with one or something like that and figure it out. Or maybe I'll buy a jacket set or something like that just to use for testing, to find out which signals are which. But from then on, I don't think I'll be buying any more of those. But I needed, like I said, for me, I needed to see and feel with my own eyes and hands the size of these wires down in here, because at least now I know that if I did decide to proceed, because you may or may not be able to see it, but down here at the ends where the magnet wire kind of links up and is let's say soldered, and then what is that, having a brain fart here, I'm gonna say soldered and then heat shrunk to their corresponding color wire. I'm gonna guess that this magnet wire, like I said, is somewhere in the 30 range, and that these wires are 26 to 28. I'm gonna say 28. They feel like a 28. I'm just kind of gauging off of the 26 gauge wire that I have in my some Cat 5 cable. So that feels like a 26 or a 28. I'm gonna guess the 28. Anywho, kind of going back to which one's your common. Like I was saying earlier, all these signals, their wires, they're all the same color of the signal aspects, but one is red. One, it looks, at least appears to be more red than the other. You can kind of see that one right here, and it looks to me that it is attached to the black. Yeah, that red one there is attached to your black. So that tells me that that one is absolutely the common wire. And as far as wiring, that at least sets you up to know, which signal, or which cable, should I say, or which wire is your common. So at least you're not getting confused on that, because that would not be one that you would want to confuse. I'm sorry that this is not wanting to focus in on me good, but that's that. At least it does obviously specify that, and then obviously red, green, and yellow, they should all line up accordingly for your signals. So now that we've looked at that, folks, now we're gonna kind of push this up here, set this aside, and take a look at these little signal heads. I'm gonna guess that they're gonna be the exact same minus the pins, and my guess is this actually might make sense that they have that little the little DIY kit for kind of the purposes of these types of signals, because they don't have the pins, and people may or may not add the pins to them. So as you guys can see, there's a little staple that holds everything together. Okay, and then from there, this backing, the Atlas brand, a setup for common anode, as it says there, this kind of just slides all up and out. My guess is, yeah, it's got little tabs. You guys can see these little tabs here on the bottom, on the side. They kind of just, this thing slides in and out without that staple. So if you're not using these right away, I'd really advise you to be very careful with them. I'm only gonna undo one of these pairs for the sole fact of I don't exactly know when I'll be getting to using these signals, and I don't want these kind of just hanging out all untangled from each other, just to keep it in a kind of a tidy fashion. I don't even know how they manage to get these wires so tidy and compact in that thing, even to begin with. So as you see, I have to untwist. You have two sets of twists, and it looks like you get quite a bit of cable with it as well. But at the bottom of that spool, here we go. Here, let the rat race begin here with that little nest of just wires going everywhere. Give me a sec to detangle this, guys. All right, guys. So I have this unspooled, if you will, and as you guys can see in there, you do have 3 LEDs there, and obviously coming out the back end of one of those spools, so I have this one still wrapped in together. You have your three signal aspect wires and your 1 common wire that is black, right? You can see that there, and obviously you can also see that it's a single wire, so it's a solid wire, and with the end stripped so they can be soldered or inserted into your signal drivers of whatever types it is they are that you're using. I do have some neat ideas that I'm planning to use with these signal bridges. I'm not going to share them with you yet. I kind of rather them be a surprise, so I don't think anyone else has ever done it. At least if they are doing it, it's not been publicized or shared for us to see. So I got some ideas. You might be able to guess them, with buying a pack of these individual heads, not on a signal. But MSRP on these guys, I want to say, is almost 17-18 bucks, I think. But I got these for 13, and that's for 2 of them. So you get a pair, a set of 2 for 13. And if you get it for the MSRP, you get pretty much 2 for 10. 2 for 20. So that's that with these guys. I don't want to drag on too long, because I'm obviously not plugging them in. That I will get to when I'm in a situation or in a place where I can get my layout lighting installed, which is fairly soon. Probably just gave away some of my status of my layout, which that video is going to be made as soon as we finish this one. But I wanted to show this again because no one has any videos out on these signals, and that was one thing that really kind of bugged me, was that there was no dope out there. There was no information out there about these signals, and it really put us modelers in a really kind of vicarious, unknown kind of state of what to do, because of course they look good, and they look nice, they look very presentable, they look very clean, they look very well made, they're color coded, they have these nice little pins, they, you know, everything looks, like I said, neat and well put together, but it's not clear on what you can do with them and how they look out of the package, because no one has anything. And again, I'm gonna harp on it. Like I said, when I did talk to them, the guy's supposed to get back to me on if they have this drill template that BLMA offered, and I told him, I said, well, you guys acquired them, you ought to have that, because you know you acquired them. So they had it with their signals, you guys ought to have it with yours. And you know, had I got a second one of these BLMA signal bridges, I wouldn't even be in this situation, because I would have at least one more template, but I don't have a template, which is, you know, my dilemma. But all in all, guys, out of the box, other than this one piece being broken off from the signal bridge, I have no complaints with where they are right now. Again, that all could change once I get them plugged in and find out that they don't work, if that's the case. But I'm going to bank on the side of caution that that's not going to happen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick look and unboxing of the Atlas signal bridges and their 2-pack of their signal heads. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will catch you guys here very shortly in the next video. Till then, keep it on the rails. It's your boy Flash Jones.